Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, our final interview of the morning, right here on News and Views on Salam Media. And we are honored to be talking with Reverend Frank Chikane. He is the chair of the South African Anti-Apartheid Steering Committee and anti-apartheid activist. To talk to us this morning, rather to give us feedback on the Global Anti-Apartheid Conference on Palestine. This happened between the 10th and 12th of May, and the theme was towards a global movement to dismantle Israeli settler colonialism and apartheid. A very good morning to you, Reverend. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, and good morning to your listeners here.
Altogether, I understand a very, very well attended and a very successful conference. Talk to us about were expectations met regarding the conference and how it rolled out?
Well, let me just say that we ended up with a conference that was oversubscribed. We had most of the people we wanted to have in the conference internationally, well represented, highly skilled people, well informed about Palestine and the struggle we are waging. And all of them agreed that we have a human tragedy here, that humanity has failed to stop a genocide, live-streamed genocide, costing so many thousands of lives. It's now beyond 35,000 lives. And many of them are children, women, and the elderly who can't even run away from it. The bombs are dropping on them. The world is watching. And the UN can't do anything. It's paralyzed because the United States withholds any action. And we brought together as a human side of it. We brought humanity together because the only people who can stop this moment is humanity coming together. And if people from the countries all over the world are mobilizing against their governments who are supporting this genocide, to make sure their government can continue supporting the genocide. He achieved that objective during the apartheid days through the anti-apartheid movement to force the countries, Britain, US, France, Germany, etc., to change their position and support us to end apartheid. And we believe this is the time. The genocide in Gaza is their subject. Our subject here turns things around. This genocide is turning things around the Israeli settler colonial apartheid system, and it's going to be naked because it has been defended and ideologically covered, and that cover is going. This is the time for humanity to unite against it.
So we have amazing voices like yourself, and when I look at the program of the 3-day conference, I am truly in awe of the speakers that have attended this particular conference, really heavyweights from all around the world. But despite all of these type of conferences that we are holding, and I'm going to ask you how you believe this can and will make a difference. The Israeli occupiers and their Western allies are just forging ahead, totally oblivious, or perhaps they do realize what they're doing, but they just forge ahead, and the massacre, this massacre just continues unabated. Where and how can we make a difference apart from amazing conferences like the one that we've just witnessed on the weekend here in Johannesburg?
Yeah, those who are citizens of this world, ma'am, don't have bombs, don't have means to go and stop Israel now. The people who can stop Israel now is the United States. If the United States decided today that they're not going to support Israel, this madness will come to an end. So our efforts may look like you've held a conference yesterday 5 days later, so many people have died and you couldn't do anything about it. But if we do nothing, 3 years later, people will still be dying and nothing would have been done. So we have to start. And the start was to bring the world here, which we did. And those people have got a declaration in their arms. They are armed with a declaration. They go back to their countries. Those who come from the U.S. said they are going to convene a regional North American meeting immediately and develop strategies about how they get the United States to stop supporting Israel. That's the only thing we need to do. And all of us internationally must mobilize our countries to say to the United States, stop this. And the United Nations vote last week shows that the majority of the members of the UN are saying the same to the United States. So we can't wait and say, because we can't stop them today, we can't plan to stop them next week. I think this is really what we are doing at the present moment. I am convinced that the spirit of the conference, this is history. There has not been an anti-apartheid movement for Palestine. We are establishing that in the same way we did for South Africa. It may take time, but it's going to stop it. But doing nothing means it will last forever. I think that's the approach we are taking.
I agree with you 101%. It's fine for us to raise these questions and a kind of wonder what difference do talking heads make. But you've just pointed out very, very clearly, Reverend, that if you do nothing, this is going to last forever. And these dictators and these colonialists will then think that they can do as they please. Already, I spoke with Nazim Adam earlier on in the show, and we raised the issue about quite a number of US senators who have said that they will not allow Netanyahu and all of his cronies to be taken to the ICC for crimes against humanity. And, you kind of wonder at their mentality, and you kind of wonder what is the message they're giving to our future generations, that it's okay to massacre people and think that you are superior just due to the color of your skin and get away with it. This has to end, and it has to end soon. Reverend.
Well, I must say that, this madness is actually frightening. A whole democracy called the United States, which boasts of being the most democracy in the world, except that it's not the largest, but in the world. The point is that you could have people like those in Congress, elected by Americans, to threaten the ICC. It's like terrorists threatening the ICC to say, if you do justice, if you do what the international law says you must do, we're going to punish you. We're going to apply sanctions against you. Instead of applying sanctions against those who are involved in the genocide. The United States is a signatory to the Genocide Convention. And the United States should be taking on those people and saying you are committing a crime. If they don't do that, then the International Court of Justice and the International Criminal Court will have to take responsibility to act against U.S. citizens who support this genocide. But I'm hoping that the majority of Americans will take a stand against this type of madness, and we must actually welcome the efforts of the students in the universities. That's the best signal that the younger generation is not going to allow a United States which supports rogue elements. That thing about the rogue elements around the world who commit crimes, who oppress people, the United States has to be stopped from doing that. And I'm believing that the stance we are taking will contribute in that process.
All I say is, please, God, let common sense prevail and let the United States and other Western white supremacists realize what is going down, that this madness has to stop. And I think sometimes people and governments don't think ahead and realize just how this genocide is going to have generational future, probably 3, 4, 5, and even beyond impact on future generations, maybe even 10 generations. In that time, still, we will not have overcome the negative impacts of this genocide. Having said that, I will cross over to you to give us your final thoughts on the conference, and then we can wrap up.
No, we have to wrap up because my meeting has started now. I just want to say the declaration covers all the elements. I wish somebody could publish it for your listeners and those who watch your program to have the content of the declaration. It deals with all the policy issues, what people need to do, and the issue is just to plan strategies to implement and act on them and change the world. Ending the war in Israel, Palestine will change the world forever, and we need to be part of that change. And I thank you for listening to me.
Thank you indeed. Thank you indeed. We'll try and get a copy of the declaration and see what we can do to have it published far and wide. Thank you indeed, Reverend. You go well and God bless.
Thank you very much. God bless.
5 after 10 exactly. Thank you for being with us on the show this morning. As I take leave of your company, we are going to be playing out with a video clip, and this is Alvin Buerters speaking at the Global Anti-Apartheid Conference in Johannesburg. He, of course, is the Deputy Minister of International Relations here in South Africa. And do remember, you can join me tomorrow morning at the same time. Stay safe and assalamu alaikum.
Morning, and he mentioned South Africa going to the ICJ once again for additional provisional measures yesterday. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, remember this specific prayers to the ICJ speak about the plight now of the Palestine people in Rafah, which is the only safe haven for the more than 2 million Gazian people that actually through a mechanism of force, through war machinery, have been pushed out of Gaza to Rafah. The Israeli state earlier, a couple of months back, undertook that would be the safe haven. They have now made a call for the evacuation of Palestine people from Rafah. So you could clearly see there's a clear intent to expand their genocidal operations. And the only buffer between their expanded genocidal conduct and the Palestine people is the International Court of Justice. And we call on all peace-loving people, all people that stands for human rights, to join South Africa by doing its applications to the International Court of Justice to side with the Palestine people in their struggle for for a statehood and in their struggle for social justice.
So move south again until there's nowhere left to move to. Thank you so much, Deputy Minister, for your
Thank you very much.